What up? It's your boy Marco from Upside Down Studios. It is motherfucking Monday. I'm joined here by, we don't even know if this place is even going to be a country here in the next few months. Dino, the genetic motherfucking marvel from Canada, maybe?
Still, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. I don't care anymore. I don't care. Let people do whatever they're gonna do. I don't really care.
All right, so before we start the madness here for this next hour, I said it off the air and I'm gonna say it publicly just so it's known we are being cooperative.
Yes.
We're just doing a show. We're not doing any deep dives. We're not mentioning anything, nice and smooth. We appreciate the last show you let us do. Everything was nice and cool. No hiccups or nothing. Thank you very much. Again, offer still stands. I know you're listening to us. So if there's something you don't want us to say or something like that, shoot me a message. Shoot me a side DM. Shoot me, don't fuck up the show.
Hell, take over the stream. Just put a list on. We'll copy it down. We have pens and paper. We'll just write it. It's no problem.
Yeah. All right. So I guess what's actually hit my eye, I haven't been paying too much attention to the American topics of the past few days because Europe is fucking going ape shit. Apparently, first that Keir Starmer dude.
Yeah.
They pretty much. At first I heard they were forcing him to resign. The Supreme Court ruled against him and a bunch of whatever the fuck out there. There were people like there was one dude, I guess his name is Farage, something like that. He's the leader of, I guess what you would call their Republican Party or whatever. But
okay.
That dude, like I seen it. He was very calm. He was very professional. He stood up. He called out all Keir Starmer's bullshit, and very non-derogatory at all. He kept it straight, concise, to the point, professional. And that Keir Starmer dude fucking went ape shit. Started screaming, fucking throwing papers, pointing his finger. I hear he had to be removed by the MPs.
I mean, like this is the weird part is that like no one freaks out more than when they're being called out on completely accurate bullshit. Like I from my experience, when you call someone out for the truth, that is when you get peak freak out because they're like
them.
There's no like this is the weird part is and you know what, when you tell the truth and people are like, oh, that's libelous, you're like, I told the truth. They're like, it's defamation, you're like, but I told the truth with proof. It's not defamation. Just because it reveals that you're not a good person doesn't mean all of a sudden it's against the law. You're a bad person. That's it. You're just, why don't you just admit it? It's very confusing. I don't know.
So on top of that shit, because let me finish up the story. Apparently, he was supposed to be forced to resign, but now he's fighting back and he's trying to get this coalition or whatever to I guess save his party, to save his ass, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Nigel Farage was the other guy.
Yeah.
And he is one cool cucumber. He does not get riled easily. He's a career politician, probably by generations. So yeah, this is the problem though, is that there are, and we've all seen it, people who have been in politics for a long period of time. You can't rile them. You can ask them uncomfortable questions.
It already decades over.
Yeah, and they're just like, and then they'll give you this whirlwind of word salad where you're like, oh, that was very informative. They didn't say anything. There's no words with actually.
He was very, that man was concise. He
Oh,
spoke.
yeah.
I mean, there was no word salad in that shit. I
Well,
mean,
that's because that's an attack. They attack with a scalpel, right? They don't attack with a broadsword.
Right.
It's very surgical. It's very immediate. It's very
Starmer
pointed.
had like one of them big wooden knives that you hang, or the
That's right.
wooden spoon that you hang on the wall.
Yeah, and he's like, you're like, yeah, and the worst part is when you react like that, you lose all credibility.
Yes.
Immediately, right?
You just told on yourself, you sniveling idiot.
It's the same when you call somebody out for their bullshit and they're like, I don't understand why you're being like this, and you're like, oh yeah, it's because you're a piece of shit. That's ta-da. Now you know.
So it gets even weirder though, because in the same time all this bullshit was popping off with that, Trump went over to see the UN. And we all know that wasn't going to play out the way they wanted it to.
No.
And it was this has all been documented now. It was all done on purpose. They shut the escalator down on him when him and Melania were about to walk up. Like, and the thing was, they said that a couple of guys in the back were jokingly talking about shutting the escalators off and saying that the UN ran out of money because Trump pulled back a lot of the monies that we were sending over there.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it wasn't joking. They actually did it. And with every bit of class and every bit of, of the way a president should be, he looked at his wife. His wife looked down at him. He helped her up the next step, and they both walked up the fucking steps. Now, if that would have been Biden, he'd have fell down the fucking one step he was already on.
He might have fallen over the railing. You're like, yeah.
Like,
This is
it wasn't even moving.
The other thing was they turned off his teleprompter, correct?
Yep. And that was the worst thing they could have did.
That's right.
You want Trump on script.
Yes.
Unless you want your ass chewed up and spit the fuck out, and comically at that, because he'll say shit that don't make sense, but still made you look like a fool.
Yeah.
And he even said it. He leaned over. He was like, "Well, looks like they turned the teleprompter off on me. It's okay. Don't need it."
The best part is what was supposed to be a 15-minute speech turned into a 55-minute roasting. And hey, man,
fucking gave it to him too.
Look, this is a problem. This is you can't do stuff like that and expect nothing, right? And the fact is that whoever did that, I'm sorry, if you went and turned off the teleprompter for a foreign dignitary, okay, mid-speech, you lost your job. You didn't just lose your job. You're never working in politics again. That's it.
Minimum, you lost your job.
But you have people who are like, nah, I got him. And then he goes on 55 minutes roasting the shit out of you, and you're like, ah.
Oh, yeah. I forget what there's two different countries that want the ambassador to come in for an inquiry or whatever for the Islamophobic and xenophobic things that Trump was saying. He didn't say anything that was a lie. There was nothing in there that he said that was a lie. And he called out the mayor of London. This is what kind of ties into Starmer. Yeah. He called out the mayor of London about how he's letting pretty much London be taken over by all the sand people or whatever. Yeah. And they got Sharia law going down there. We're going to talk about that in a little bit too. So I guess the king, I guess he's the king now, King Charles.
King Charles.
Now, I guess in centuries, the crown has stayed out of the politics. They just did their royal fuckery or whatever, but they stayed out of like the commoners' politics.
Right.
Apparently, King Charles came down, not only agreed with Trump and sided with Trump, but I guess behind closed doors, him and that Farage dude
Yeah.
has been having talks or whatever, and making negotiations to have the Sand dude out and Starmer out.
Listen, well, there are reports right now that the I don't know, Sheikh or King of Qatar currently owns more land in the UK than King Charles.
Well, and the funny shit about that is the crown owns more land in America than pretty much America. People don't realize that. We did a show a few years back on that,
Yeah, I
where
remember.
there's just pieces of land that the royalty could go on, and we can't say shit. That's like an act of war.
Look, this is hey man, that's an issue. It is like, on one side of things, the fact is, we've all known this, is the key to wealth is land ownership.
Right.
It always has been. And we were discussing it the other week, was the idea that land ownership being accessible to everyone is a very new thing. That is not like, and people are like, no, it's been around forever. No, it's been around forever for us, but it's only 200 years old. Like, that's not, maybe 500 years old. That's new, right? Remember, there was a time where either you were royalty or you were so important to royalty that they gifted you that, and that gave you a title, right? Even to this point, I believe. So actually, Victoria and I own pieces of land in Scotland that makes us lords.
You bought the thing with the fish, with the heckle fish fucking talked about it?
Bro, hey, I have my own tartan. I have the whole thing, and there's a tree planted there, okay? Victoria went all out, and it was for my birthday, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a Lord of Scotland, so you guys can suck it. But that's this weird thing where owning land wasn't accessible, and hilariously too, people who were serfs, so people who worked land on behalf of the lord of the area, only worked like 150 days a year. So we now don't own land, work more, earn less, and have poorer lifestyles than people 500 years ago. Honestly, I mean, I have questions. I have questions because that 2 + 2 does not equal 4. Maybe it's racist. I don't know, but it's definitely not math, right?
No, the weird thing is, I found out because I was doing a little bit of research for the show tonight, that I got with Rob Coleman.
Yeah.
So I noticed that it's only a white people thing. It's a Caucasian. It is a white skinned thing.
All right.
We always make fun of the way names get changed or whatever to make it sound better. It went from shell shock to PTSD, shit like that. Carlin did a whole skit on it.
Yes.
Doing my research, I was just looking up the different races of slaves that were brought to America and when. And there was only one race of slaves, but there was fucking 10 races of indentured servants.
Oh.
And they said that indentured servitude is not the same because sometimes after 4 to 7 years you're granted freedom and maybe a piece of land. Sometimes, although the conditions were more brutal.
Yes.
So, and now they'll talk about, well, people sign contracts to become indentured slaves, but then they say, but then in this certain period of time, well, wait a minute, you just told me none of these folks were slaves. This sounds like slavery to the second power.
Well, contractually. So people would do that for debts. So if somebody maxed out their debts, they would sell themselves off on purpose to cover all their debts, so that their family could survive. And one person was sold into servitude. And the interesting thing is, it's actually in the Bible where you could only do it for 7 years. So 7 years was the max. Interestingly enough, if you claim bankruptcy and stuff like that, also on your credit score lasts 7 years. So it's very interesting because
word salad.
well, that's the thing is you're going back in the day, right? 65 million years ago, right? The whole idea was that yes, hey, if things went bad, you could do these things, but to be reasonable, 7 years, and then you start off at zero. And listen, that's something that people still do, where they're going, you know what, 7 years is fine. Start over again. Now, that being said, a lot of people are they get tangled into this stuff, and it doesn't just become 7 years. And like, look, indentured servitude would have clause and memorandums and addendums and stuff where, you know what, some people got locked in
it's
for a long time.
Nowadays, indentured servitude is prostitution. That's pretty much what it is.
I mean, but aren't we all? Like, to some degree, we are all sitting in a situation where we are whoring out our time and resources on the behalf of somebody else for a pittance, thinking that we're hustling, right?
Well, I had this discussion a few years back with one of my nephews at Thanksgiving, and the topic of slavery and all that came up.
You guys have bad Thanksgivings. Just
yeah. Well, I mean, it's a mixture of us, man. We got everything from gingers to Motorola Black and at the table. So I mean, it's mixed. That's why I speak on all this shit. You know, it's all family,
right?
But you know, to me, honestly, if you look back with a logical eye and you take all emotion, all race, or whatever out, slavery wasn't that bad. And as a matter of fact, slavery is the same as it is right now, because you look at it, right now, you're a lot of these folks, they are in a place that they don't want to be in. Correct?
Yes.
Right.
Correct.
So now they are getting, bare minimum wages, but you are getting housing and you are getting food and you are getting an education, whether it's to the same level as anybody else or not. You still are. What's happening now? They're living in the hood. They're getting food stamps. They're getting minimum education, which a lot of this is not, their fault. It's just the way everything is designed. But now they're complacent with it, whereas you're having a fit about it back then.
Yes.
One of the worst things, like, and I'm gonna bring this up to Nate on the other show, because it's just one of my pet peeves. One of the phrases that I fucking can't stand is, "When was America great?" When you say "make America great again," when was America great for people of color? Well, let's go back in all of our histories, including mine, and look where we came from. You could have been a slave here picking cotton under a house with clothes and education and a semblance of maybe some kind of freedom, because a lot of people escape. Or you could be in a hut with a spear to your fucking head, or riding barely knowing, what food is, making kids with your grandkids. I mean, look, America at its worst was better than any country in their heyday.
Calm down there, bro. Let's not say that.
I'm just saying, man. I mean, if you look at the historical facts,
I will Greek your ass to the ground, my friend. Do not contempt me. Greece. Remember, Greece took over the known world and brought the knowledge and philosophy and goodwill of Greece to everyone. Hey, granted, it was whether they liked it or not, but
you brought slaves too. Oh, sorry. Indentured servants.
They were indentured servants. Hey. We knew what we were doing. They were indentured servants. But hey, and look, and also too, Greece were slaves for 400 years.
Right.
Okay. So don't, like, the idea that people have this high horse. You know what you should do, and remember, is because you're going on the show is tonight.
Yeah.
Are we still doing our show or no?
Yes.
Okay. So on that show, you got to bring up the Berber Empire and how they took white slaves predominantly. Like that was, and you're like, so you can't say, oh well, this group of people has been no. The poor are oppressed, and the wealthy oppress them. This is the knowledge of all time. All history of mankind has been truthful. That's it.
I mean, when did America abolish slavery? If you look at that date, the Sand People still slave trades. Africa still slave trades. Asia, still parts of Asia, still slave trades.
Yes. Hey, hey, to this day.
Yes.
Let's be very clear.
Yes.
Till now, there are still slave trades. There are more, and this is the weird part is, and I don't really like this because it's there's more people in the world, so percentage wise, I don't know if they match up, but there are more slaves today than there ever have been in the history of time. So,
yeah. And that
because remember, a serf wasn't a slave.
All the way to the prostitution, all the way to the Asians that were brought over to have to cook in the Chinese restaurants and give happy endings the next day in the fucking massage parlor. All of them.
I mean, got to get that bag. What are you gonna do?
Whether you sign the fucking paper to get your family out of debt or not, you're a slave. And I mean, and then if you look at the more broader sense in just the corporate aspect, then we're all slaves. We're slaves to that credit card. We're slaves to our fucking gas bill. We're slaves to our fucking, our children. I mean,
well, listen, and remember too, like it goes even further, because remember, every time that society has had an independent process, it has been attacked. So one of the examples is prohibition. Prohibition, people were like, oh, it's to stop drunks. No, it wasn't. The fact was that people across the board were fermenting waste, okay? Waste of food, creating their own alcohol, and they could use it for fuel to heat their house, fuel to run their cars, and that was what was attacked. Because, well, hold on, now you're stopping crude oil from happening, and you're being able to function independently without the resources of the rich.
Right.
That's the issue. And that was what was attacked. So it's not the way we've been taught. That's for sure.
I'm finding more and more, especially as I got older, more and more, because I always thought to myself, maybe I should listen more in school. Maybe I should have went into college. I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I didn't. Because everything that I know now, which little bit of knowledge that I did retain from school and shit like that, aside from my trade school knowledge, that'll stay with me forever. Yeah. But aside the book work, the history, the fucking the economics, the civics, fucking all lies. It's all fucking lies, dude.
Well, it's all propaganda, right? And it was a perspective to make you think we're perfect and everyone else is garbage, which, listen, that still happens in countries all over the world. It's still happening in our countries right now. But the fact is that you can be proud of where you are from and accept that things weren't perfect, right? That's the reality of it. So
you can have your pride for your country. That's why I'm not like here's an example that I like to make with people. Like this tattoo I have on my arm. It's a coquille, but it's a symbol from a non-point. It's a Puerto Rican heavy metal band.
All right.
Now most Puerto Ricans that I know, men and women, are covered in coqui frogs and flags and boricua and this or that. There's at least 3-4 No, I'm not. I'm Puerto Rican. Okay, go Puerto Rico. But aside from that, I'm fucking American. I am fucking. I ain't even got the only accent I can pull off is a cheap fucking Mexican accent, and that's because I watched Cheech and Chong all my life. I can't speak
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's not Spanish. That's not Puerto Rican.
No.
People want me to quesadilla.
It's pronounced quasadilla.
And a vagina.
Yeah. With cheese. with cheese. Yeah.
And some of that whack-a-mole.
Yeah. Do you have any of that guacamole? It's got some good fats in there. I like it. Yeah. No, that's fine. Look, this is the problem. And you know what? Like, that's one of those things where, look, the Greece has sent me letters being like, hey, you have to report for military service. And I'm like, I'm Canadian, eat my entire butthole. And they're like, oh, but we have you down here. I'm like, see this passport. So this is the other thing is my passport. It says Canadian. There you go. Have a great day. I'm done. That's it. Sorry. There's nothing else to concern yourselves with. So, but now we have digital ID. That's great. It'll be fine.
Oh yeah. I heard you guys are going to that, and that's the big shit. That's the reason why. What's it called? Wexit. What is all these movies? There's Brexit, there's Blexit over here. That's the blacks moving away from the Democrats, and now it's Wexit. That sounds like a candle or something.
It does. Yeah. The worst part is that people aren't understanding that, hey, you can vote all you want to leave, but none of it. Like, so right now, so I saw the video that you sent me. And the hilarious part is the federal government is going, yeah, I don't think your ability to decide if you can leave the country, it's non-constitutional. So veto, you're done. The idea that they're like, we're going to leave. No, you're not. You know why? Because your land isn't yours. Eat it. And it's this crazy thing where people have this idea that you're like, I'm free. No, you're not. Ta-da!
And that's pretty much the way Texas rolls.
Yeah. Hey, and you know what? Oh, there we go. Well, everyone, we weren't supposed to talk about digital IDs, and now you understand why. Maybe do some research about it. Think about it. It's a weird thing that's happening everywhere, but the fact is, it is happening, and I don't know. I don't know about it. I don't have many details, but apparently it's an issue we're not allowed to talk about here on the internet. Oh. Ta-da! You're still not back, sir. Maybe we'll, you know what? Let's keep on talking about other stuff, I guess. Jesus. You know, what I don't understand is this. If we don't talk about it, people can't be knowledgeable about it. And if people aren't knowledgeable about it, then that's a bad thing. That's a problem. Yet we're sitting here and being told that's crazy. It is, Ray. It is crazy because I don't understand why you would want people not to discuss it because, hey, we can become smarter about things. But if we're not smarter about things, there's nothing really we can do. It's very confusing, right? Because if there's something that we know that's not right, the only way we can learn is by learning about it and understanding it better. If we're not going to understand it, hi, Victoria, then it would be better. But apparently, we're not allowed to talk about digital IDs. Who knew? I mean, we probably suspected it. I don't know. It's a little bit weird. I don't understand why people are being like this, but hey, after all is said and done, Marco's trying to come back. Come on. Chicka, 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 woo, woo. I don't know. You know, that's the weird part is that, oh, hi, welcome back. You want to change the subject?
Yeah, I said we'll talk about aliens.
About what?
The aliens.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about aliens.
So switching off the whatever the algorithm didn't like. Me and Dino have been kind of keeping track of this. His name's Panama Ken or Ken Panama or whatever. This young dude who supposedly found a meteorite, and then there was some shit growing on it, and then got bigger. Then he threw it in the water. Then he got it back out the water, and he put it in an aquarium. Then he ended up in the hospital. In the meantime, he's supposed to be getting swatted, and all these people are showing up around the town and trying to find this thing.
Yeah.
So the new videos that have been posted are kind of rough. They showed him in the hospital. He says he was sick. People think that little black dot in his eye might be, him being contaminated or whatever.
Patient zero, baby.
So he got out the hospital, and they showed him. He showed a video of him right before he went to sleep. He got the thing back inside of of the safe that he had it in the beginning.
Yeah.
Now, when we saw this thing in the water, in the videos in the waters, to me, when it stretched out, it looked like a dragon. It looked like one of the Chinese dragons, and it's had like almost like arm flipper type deals.
Sure.
So now the new pictures of this thing and the new videos, I don't know if I saw it correctly or not, but if it is, it's fucking scary. The one flipper kind of turned into a pincer.
Ooh, that's good for grabbing.
Yeah, yeah. And in the center of it looks like a big eyeball.
Nice.
So, yeah, I guess the big thing is now, people are saying, why did the thing go from the creek back to the aquarium? Why'd you even put it in water in the first place? All this. Personally, I think these are videos of different ones. I feel like the one from the safe, like the original one, he cut up. Remember, he was supposed to get to the universities or whatever. He said he sent one out, but he had a box of jars of just slivers of this thing. Like old school, like with cork on top type jars.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe one is in the water, and maybe one is in the aquarium, and maybe one is in the safe, and maybe one is in the back seat of the car. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, and if you see the videos from the beginning to like the newer one, the kid's real robotic. The kid's real like out of it anymore. So I don't know. I wouldn't say this thing like kind of went into him like Venom, like a symbiote, but I'm feeling like this is more like the fungal shit we were talking about, or maybe it released some spores on him and now it's in control, and he's like incubating these fucking things.
Wow. Let's I'm just watching a little video that's showing quite a large amount of it, and you're like, it honestly, so in the water, yes, it looked like it had a bunch of tentacles. When it's not in the water, it very much reminds me of the Blob from the movie The Blob. Yeah.
Do you see the eye, like the eye in the middle?
Yeah, that's freaky deaky. This is you know what, let me just Google something right now. Zombie fungus. It's
Ray, just look up Panama Venom.
Yeah, can you share the video? No, we cannot share the video because then we'll get copyright, all that jazz. So it's Ophicordyceps unilateralis is what it's called. Zombie ant fungus. Time until control. So when I'm just looking it up, it's 4 to 10 days.
Yeah.
So
that first set of videos went along the whole week process. That first week of him finding it.
Which, let's be honest, if your prime directive, let's call it, is to spore and grow, because remember, so the zombie fungus, what it does is it actually controls the ant, makes the ant climb to the highest tree, the highest limb, and then it spores out. So the whole idea is to proliferate and to go further, right? So it goes to the highest point possible where ants don't normally go. Remember, this is actually a good little thing, is I like living above the 3rd floor when I'm in an apartment, for the specific fact that bugs don't go past 3 floors. It's just, the only reason they're there is if you brought them in, or one of your neighbors has it. But aside from that, they don't usually do that. So that is its whole idea. So realistically, if it came here and wants to, you know, procreate, it makes sense that it would try and infect whoever comes close to it, maybe a little dot on his eye. And as soon as, hey, if it's in your eyeball, it's very close to your brain.
And it's seeing everything, and it's controlling everything. And just the fact that if there is a sentience, like a real sentience, not like a animalistic sentience, but like, higher
Yeah, yeah.
level, you would pick a younger breeding age, strong, specimen to go and
Yeah.
do its thing.
I don't know if that would be, it's more a matter of convenience, right? Like, I don't, would it? Yeah. So, have you been watching Alien Earth?
No.
Do you like scary stuff, don't you?
Yeah.
You should watch it.
Good?
They just finished the first season. It's not just good. It gives you a little more depth to the universe of how it works. And not to give it away, but there is one alien that is, I guess, quasi symbiotic in its function. And so they put it into a what we would consider to be a dumb animal. Okay. And then they asked the dumb animal to tell what numbers are in pi, and it starts answering.
Oh shit!
Like, yeah, and you're going, ha, shit, right? Because now we're talking about just because, and this is a perspective that I think is important. Is just because we can't communicate with something doesn't mean it's not intelligent, and
right.
just because
not communicating, just not with you.
So, and we've seen a lot of the stuff where fungus has been is communicating amongst itself, and we're only now learning how to understand its communication, which is what that means is we're the dumb ones, not them.
Right.
So, because
so here's a little question to boggle around in your head. Now that we know there are beings, like natural beings, such as the fungus, that can do this. And clearly we don't know shit about, and we might know a fraction of what the true deal is with these funguses or any other communication of any type, say like this blob or whatever. Now, do you think throughout the decades and millennia, all these people who were supposedly possessed and everybody thought it was this spiritual type of possession, do you think maybe it could have been naturally a parasite or a symbiotic fucking entity that these people were hosts of?
I don't think they work the same. So you know what? I don't think it would be parasitic, but it may be comparable. Like it's I don't think that they would, because so this is the weird part. Sorry, I know I'm not really finishing my sentences, so I'm just trying to collect my thoughts here. It's the idea that parasite is a parasite with one principle in mind, right? So like it comes down to two. There's I'm not sure if you've seen these videos where they discuss like predators of humans, right? So they evolve, predators evolve very differently than prey does. And a parasite is neither predator nor prey. Like they're this weird dichotomy of it where they're like, they're not trying to take over, they're just trying to in the background control as much as possible until you can't stop them, right? So it's this weird situation. We don't want to run parallels to anyone who acts like that. No, we don't want to. So is the idea that predators evolve differently, and the idea that like something, and they give the example of like a vampire where you're like, so vampires would see differently, act differently, and function differently, and theoretically they would be here to cull the herd when the herd gets too big. And when they disappear, it would essentially disappear after a few generations from our minds, where it was this, oh, it was this crazy story, and it's no longer real. So in the same sense, you have something that's a fungus where it doesn't, we haven't seen it affect human beings to our knowledge, right?
Well, what about psilocybin?
Well, so, and that's the thing though, is that mushrooms have been shown to help us develop our brains, and there's a very good chance that the deciding factor in our I don't want to use the word evolution, but in our separation from the animal kingdom was derived from possibly using mushrooms, where our brains start to function at a higher level. Now, I don't know that that would be a parasitic function, or if it was purposeful. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know that we're doing what the mushrooms
So it'd be
want,
more
as opposed to,
more of a symbiotic thing than a parasitic thing.
yeah. So, because like it makes more sense that it would be symbiotic because, well, mushrooms can't do what we do. But the fact is that mushrooms actually grow um, more when we pollute the earth. So, like in actuality,
on death and decay.
right. So the more abandoned, and we've seen this from cities that are like, there are ghost cities where fully functioning city abandoned, no one's there. And wildlife not only takes over very quickly, but also does weird shit that it doesn't normally do. So there's a certain degree of I want to say growth that we don't see in nature normally, but it happens when humans screw something up. You know, it's a weird thing, but it's definitely something that you're like, I have questions. I have questions.
That's why I don't fuck with the mushrooms anymore, man. I'll take straight good old American made in the fucking basement LSD before I ever fuck with a mushroom again, dude. You know, I want chemicals. I want something that, you know, maybe had a glow to it, some kind of green, you know, something like that, something you can't just take with in large amounts, you know.
I don't know. I don't know that that's better or worse, right? And each, interestingly enough, we just saw a show called Wayward. It just came out on Netflix. It's very it's kind of a how a cult happens and you don't even realize it kind of thing. And you find out that you're like, oh, there's a whole fucking thing where no, they don't use mushrooms, but they do use hallucinogenics. And you're like, there's a lot of issues. I would recommend anyone who likes a good suspenseful thriller show, watch it. FYI, there's a lot of gay shit in it, but whatever. Basically, everyone in the town is gay, and you're like, all right, whatever.
A gay cult.
Well, and the funny thing is, the one person who is like, I have a boyfriend, you're like, you look like you're gay. So I don't understand. But yeah, everyone else is gay. You're like, essentially everyone is gay, and people are like, no, I'm straight. You're like, you act pretty gay. So whatever. It's weird. It is a good show.
Going
weird.
to your analogy about the vampires, I heard a more scientific story. It was pretty much identical almost. It was basically how, you know, the way I was taught and the way most people, like I've seen my kids taught it too, the way evolution rolled. You know, you went Neanderthal, Homo sapien, but nobody talks about the transition in between the Neanderthals and the Homo sapiens. Those both lived at the same time.
Yeah.
And Homo sapiens were dwindled down to damn near 50 people on Earth at one point. And the only thing that really saved the Homo sapiens, the ones that, you know, evolved a little, because the Neanderthals were 3 times our size. They
stronger.
They didn't have the mentality, you know, but it was just like, you know, when people say, you know, they didn't have the mentality, you think, oh, they were just these dumb things, almost like apes. No, they were just like the LD kid who was dangerous at school. That's what the fuck they were. And they were mad, and all they did was they would eat you or rape you.
Yeah.
Now, the only problem, like the only thing that saved the Homo sapien race, according to this video I watched, well,
Yeah.
I was listening to it, was that the Neanderthal DNA, even though they were able to mate with the Homo sapiens,
Yeah.
they couldn't pass on the dominant Neanderthal gene.
No.
So basically, they fucked themselves to death.
Right. Well, and this is a thing that a lot of people don't realize is that predators aren't as fertile as prey because you can't have too many predators. Like the more, if you have too many predators,
And the predators become the prey.
well, no, but then they will eat themselves to death.
Right.
Right. So it's you can't do that. And that's the problem that a lot of people don't realize is that you're like, yeah, there's a reason for that, right? So it's the whole idea of people, making babies like rabbits. You're like, yeah, because rabbits are prey. That we need more rabbits, more deer. But the weird thing is when there's an overpopulation of deer, yeah, let a couple wolves go. You'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Hey, within one generation, everything comes to balance. Or you get too many wolves and then they start killing themselves. Like the predators have a bigger understanding of how the process works, right? That's why it's like this is where it gets really deep, and I don't know, maybe we should talk about it tonight. Was the idea is that prey has the ability to just worry about eating and fucking, whereas a predator has to consider the longer game of what is important to its survival. Whereas prey is just like, I'm hanging out here eating bushes and fucking, it's all good, Whereas prey is like, can I take it? If I do, am I going to get hurt? If I get hurt, I might be fucked. So I don't have time to heal. I don't have time to do things, right? Like there's a lot more consideration needed in being a predator that, and it kind of, it's weird because then you see how people who are highly educated and very wealthy not having children. Why? They're predators. They're taking advantage of people. And like it's a different form of being a predator, but at the same time, you're like, yeah, you can't right now in society, we have too many predators and not enough prey.
Yeah, look at Chicago. Look at New York.
Right? I mean, look, it's a weird thing.
So speaking of, and I'm glad, speaking of predators or whatever, and we only got 10 minutes, so we got 10 minutes, man. Let us roll. First thing that I've noticed that this whole bullshit across the country or across in London with the Sharia law and stuff.
Yeah.
For people who think that that's bullshit or it'll never happen here, it's literally happening right now in Texas.
Yeah.
Governor Abbott just signed a bill that banned Sharia law. Dude, they were policing, like they had their own Muslim police policing streets of Texas, making American citizens go in the house at a certain time. Women couldn't be out without their hand jobs on. They're they got their fucking their little rugs or whatever placemats that they kneel and whatever they do over there. Yeah. And then now there's videos being put out talking about we're taking over. We will kill you if you do not believe in Islam. And these were women.
Yes.
Fucking women. So on top of that, we had another mass shooting, North Carolina. They're saying right now it was a Marine killed one person and injured 9 other people.
I don't think so.
And then I hear there was somebody who drove into a church and started shooting at people. The fuck are you guys doing, man? The fuck are you guys doing? I mean, do you hate Trump that bad? Do you hate the truth that bad that this is what you're reduced to? And then got the nerve to say that God loves everybody and we this and we that even the satanic Bible tells you what you're doing is fuck shit.
This is I don't know. I don't know how to react to that. And like the idea that people are out here thinking that that's the way to do things, you're like, you're out, bro. Like this is, you know what? How many decades has America been imprisoning people for non-violent crimes, right? And allowing violent criminals to run free.
Yeah, and that a big attribution. I mean, it's been going on for decades, but the most recent that I seen was Obama and Kamala Harris. You know, because Obama was sitting there and laughing in the black folks' face or smiling with the black folks and shaking black folks' hands while he was putting y'all motherfuckers in jail. Joe Biden, 97 crime bill. I love that speech because it shows how much of a piece of shit he really is. And he said it live on Congress, C-SPAN, not edited, not taken out of context. From the time that motherfucker opened his mouth to the time he shut it, he spit nothing but fucking hate. Kamala Harris sat and smoked a joint with motherfucking Charlemagne the God while laughing about putting fucking young black men and Latino men in jail for doing the same fucking thing.
Yeah. And this is where you're going. So hold on, you have an entire prison system that's overloaded with non-violent criminals. And then the excuse is, oh, well, the jail's too full. We can't put the criminals in there. You're going, what? How does that make any sense? I would wouldn't it make more sense to go in and be like, okay, you were weed, you were crack. Okay, you're all out. Community service, probation, whatever, and you three murderers, you're in. That's it. Simple. Like, but people can't wrap their head around this where you're going, hey, you can't go around committing acts of violence and then be allowed back into society. And like, so I saw a video today. I'll send it to you. It was on Twitter, and it was a guy going, "I'm sorry, this law, like they're trying to bring it up in Canada as well, is after 3 violent felony convictions, you're done. That's it. You're locked up permanently."
We used to have that was called the 3 strikes rule.
So
and California got rid of that.
So this is the thing is that's because the 3 strike rule was actually abused to no end. So people would use it. People would use, oh, you did a crime, then you got a parking ticket and you didn't pay your child support. Boom, you're in jail. You're like, no. This is 3 violent convictions. So all done separately. But once they all happen, boom, you're permanently in jail. And the guy goes, and this is the weird part was, it was a black guy who goes, honestly, he goes, I had a conversation with somebody and they brought out the files. He goes, that look bigger than our statute books. Okay. It was for 6 adolescents, juvenile kids. Okay. And this was all the shit they had done. What their actions had affected 174 individual people. Because at what point do I say I don't care about the 6, I care about the 174? And that's what we're talking about, right? And you stand there going, listen.
Well, one, you'll get the lip card saying that they're kids, and then you'll have the civil rights people saying, oh, they're kids of color. So, and then the phrase systematic racism will pop up, and boom, there's 175, 176, 177.
Hey, people need to get their head out of their ass. That's my honest opinion, is because after all is said and done, we're not talking about people. These are criminals who, and you know what? The gentleman says it in the video where he goes, I don't actually care about these 6 people, and they're involved. They've opted out of society. So the average was each individual has violently affected 29 people. I'm sorry, at that point, you've opted out of society. That's it. Sorry.
Yeah, that's 3 sets of 10.
That's like, I'm sorry. Is that not like, convince me otherwise? Just go for it in any way, shape, or form. If you can't,
Oh, but they're poor, and the system was stacked against them, and they come from a single parent, and they had bad education, and everything was stacked against them, and the
nope.
white people did. Yep, that's exactly what you'll hear, dude.
But that's the thing is, I'm sorry, none of those arguments are valid.
I
Oh,
didn't
they're
say
poor. Are
so.
all
Okay.
poor people like that? No. Okay, invalid. Oh, it's because they're of color. Oh, are all colored people criminals? No. Oh, they're single parent. Okay, are all single parent children criminals? No. Okay, there you go. Sorry, you can't give me a broad statement, unqualified, and then go, well, that's the reason. That's not a reason. It's a choice. And you know what? If someone's a bad parent, good, maybe they should suffer too. If you have 4 kids and all 4 kids are career criminals, good, you're going to jail too. You can be a whole family in jail. No problem. Sorry. That's it. It's not, that's not reasonable, right? And this is where like reason and understanding have just gone out the door en masse because people are like, oh, well, we have to think about, no, you have to think about that. And that's on you. But everybody else, I'm sorry, I'm worried about my wife being safe, me being safe, being able to drive down the street and not some idiot driving and T-boning because they can't read the sign. Sorry, that's not how life works.
And the bad thing is when that same exact situation happens over there, not only can they not read the sign, they don't have a license, they don't have insurance, the car probably ain't even theirs, and they get off scot-free because we're illegals, we don't have documentation. I mean, when the whole Haitian thing got brought out to light, it wasn't so much the cats and the dogs. They exploited that aspect of it to make
Yeah.
to make Trump look like a fool, which was still happening. And in the UK, they're complaining that the illegals over there are eating the swans out of the fucking parks.
Yeah.
They're just going in and grabbing swans out the fucking lakes and eating them.
So up until a few, no, it's still a law, but there was a whole thing where poachers you were allowed to shoot a poacher on sight. So if you were stealing the king's if you were hunting on the king's land, you're viewed as a poacher and you're dead immediately. And in the UK, all swans are property of the king and or queen.
Yeah, well,
so
they've been barbecuing them motherfuckers. I don't even know if they barbecue them there. They falafel them.
Swan shawarma, it's very good, very good. You like it? Little bit of spice, it's delicious.
Swan shawarma.
Yeah.
Sounds like a Persian prince.
I mean, yeah. I am Swan shawarma. Huh?
All right, so yeah, and they're also trying that Sharia law shit up in Michigan too. So we watch your asses. That's a little close to Ohio, and now even the Arabs over here don't like that bullshit. The Arabs we got American Arabs over here. You go down to the Arab store, and people think I'm being racist when I say Arab. That's what it was always. We grew up. There was the Arab store. Where are you going? To the Arab store. But anyways, I remember my mom asking. She knew the one owner of the store in Camel where she lives, Mike, who's lived there. I mean, he raised his children in Camel. He's been there forever, but he was from Yemen. And my mom asked back, when the first fucking Desert Storm and shit, all that started. How do you feel about it? What do you think about it? He's like, fuck them people. I'm American. And that's pretty much how, I mean, every once in a while you'll see one with the little tablecloth thing around their head. But I mean, very far and few.
Oh, listen, there's a lot to be learned about that kind of stuff, but people got to realize things are not as they seem, and it's important that we learn and understand because it's getting shoved down our throats regardless. So
yep. So with that being said, tonight we'll put out a subject for Life of Giants, a little quote, some shit like that. We will be doing that at 8:00. 7:00. I think I posted the link on it. I'll be doing Are You Serious? Questions for Black MAGA. Fucking hate that. I fucking hate that. Makes
Just
me
so everyone knows, Marco is Black MAGA. That's what this is.
Yeah, apparently I'm Black MAGA.
Yeah.
You know, at least when it suits the purposes of the melanated, because when it doesn't, then you know they can't do anything for the Hispanics.
Yeah.
So
correct.
Go figure. So with that being said, check it out. That'll be 7 o'clock tonight, and then at 8 o'clock tonight we will be doing Life of Giants.
That's right.
I'm Marco Torres with Upside Down Studios. This is Dino the Genetic Marvel from an undisclosed country, and we are out. Be good to each other.
Later.
Kind of like that, the undisclosed country.
So what the fuck? What the fuck? Yeah. So what the fuck? What